All right, so our bodies are in a constant state of adaptation. We're either adapting to inactivity or we're adapting to activity. We're adapting to a steady state of new movement or a steady state of lack of movement. Give me an example of this would be if I just broke my arm and my arm is casted, my arm is adapting to the cast now. Now the bone is adapting to reform. It's constantly reforming on its own to heal the break in my arm. Okay, so this is an adaptation of the bone. The muscles aren't moving, they're just sitting there. And so they're adapting as well. And so they're shriveling up, atrophying. That's why when you get the cast off of your arm, or you'll see someone have a cast taken off after a broken bone, that one arm is smaller than the other one, because the one that was in a cast has adapted to the new environment, the new environment of lack of movement, okay? So the reason I bring this up is if we can understand that our bodies are in this constant state of adaptation, then it gives us a little bit more authority, a little bit more understanding, a little bit more control over what we want our bodies to do, okay? And the reason this is so important, and I feel it's so profound, is over the years of seeing patients and athletes at all different ages, everyone has this predetermined set of values that go around age and their bodies and what they're capable of doing. And so I hear 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds use this phrase, "I'm too old to," and then you finish the sentence. 20-year-olds, "I'm too old to get on the floor anymore." 30-year-olds, "I'm too old to get on the floor anymore, get up and down off the floor." So the reason I bring this up is it's an adaptation that will conform to our belief system. And so what I hope to rattle in your brains today is a different belief system that we are capable of adapting. Our bodies are continuously capable of adapting throughout our entire lives, because that's what it's going to do. And it's going to either adapt in an incline, adapt to being stronger, adapt to being fitter, adapt to being healthier, or will adapt to being weaker and fatter and slower and closer to death, okay? And so if we can embrace this concept to start with, the concept of adaptation, and understand that we are in this constant state of adaptation, and if we choose to just sit in a chair and not move, then our bodies will adapt to that chair and will adapt to that not moving. This is going to be a product of our body's adaptation to our inactivity, though, not a product of age, not a product of the normal metabolic state of the body degrading. It's just a state of adaptation that the body will go towards. Now, it makes sense when you understand why does the body adapt like this? Because it conserves energy. The body is designed to conserve energy. Now, the problem with this is if we decide, okay, I'm no longer going to get up and down off the floor, I'm going to conserve this energy for the remainder of my life, because I'm also not going to eat ice cream and enchiladas ever again for the rest of my life. Well, then that would make sense. I'm going to conserve that energy. I've given up ice cream and enchiladas for the remainder of my life. I no longer need to burn the calories it requires to get up and down off the floor. And so I'm going to conserve that energy. Unfortunately, we don't stop eating ice cream and enchiladas, and so our bodies are adapting, burning less energy, becoming weaker, lean muscle mass is decreasing, body fat is increasing because we're going to continue to eat those ice creams and enchiladas. So this is another reason, aside from the energy conservation, but understanding how it works, and so that we can continue to combat the aging process. Now, one of the things I've mentioned a couple of times is getting up and down off the floor. This is our number one most important exercise we can do. This is the number one most important activity that we can accomplish in our lives. Getting all the way to the ground and then getting all the way up. It requires full body strength. It's a core strengthening exercise. Our ankles have to move, our knees have to move, our hips, our spine, our upper body. We need strength, both in our core in here, we need it in our core back here. So the reason I bring this as an example is my number one easiest fix, easiest solution, easiest way to get in the best shape of your life is you don't need a gym membership, you don't need any fancy equipment, you don't need a trainer. You just have to recognize what we've been talking about, the adaptation principle. The body is going to adapt, and then find one movement or exercise to adapt towards. And getting up and down off the floor is your number one best exercise. There's a lot of research out there indicating the benefits. People that can get up and down off the ground, mortality rates, so they can you'll live longer basically. You'll be stronger. So that's my homework assignment to you, would be to just consider this this idea of this adaptation. Recognize that it's going to happen. Your body's going to adapt, but that it's your choice as to whether you want to adapt towards becoming, being able to get up and down off the floor regularly and easily for the rest of your life, well into your 80s and 90s and then 100s, or whether you want to make the choice to just sit there and then let your body adapt in a negative way that won't be as beneficial. So hopefully this helps.